and I want to welcome you to the Real Estate Friday. My name is Dylan Rubido. I'm the Doral broker, and I'm coming to you, to your homes, to your phones, to your iPads, to your tablets, in hopes that I can give you some tips, strategies on how to increase your sales, go over any obstacles you might have in a transaction, and shed some light into what's going on right now in our market, our business, and how we can strive even on a contracting economy. So let me tell you a little bit about my background. I actually got involved in real estate when I was 18 years old, doing loans. I didn't really enjoy doing loans that much, but I got involved in real estate that way. I did it for a few years, from 2001 all the way to 2004. Then I got out. I had the regular jobs. I was county employees. I was studying for becoming an engineer, and that was my background back then as far as employment and schooling. But when I really got involved and I really enjoyed what I was doing is back in 2008. Just when the market was collapsing, all the real estate agents were running for the hill. That's when I was coming on board, trying to figure it out, how can I make money in a down market? So I see a lot of things happening right now. To me, they're red flags, but they're also opportunities. And I want to make sure that our agents, everybody, sales, you guys in sales, professionals, I want to make sure that this doesn't happen to you, and we have the right mindset and we have the right strategies on point, and we're using every tool that we have to be able to excel in a market, regardless if we in the up market, in a good economy, or in a bad economy, especially in a bad economy. So I don't know where we're heading, really. I just see that a lot of negative things are happening. People are scared. Transactions are falling apart. Sellers, buyers, they're afraid. They don't know what's going on. And a lot of them had a lot of speculations. So we want to be able to answer them the best way we can. So that's why I come up with the Real Estate Friday. Also on Mondays, just letting you know, I'm gonna have the Mindset Monday. Real Estate Friday is gonna be mainly to go over transactions, go over some suggestion tips, strategies that we can put into place, and how we can make more sales nowadays. But in a Mindset Monday, it's more about having the right mindset. We wanna be able to have the right tools, be okay with ourselves, train ourselves. What can we do? What can we read? What can we do to better ourselves, to have the right mindset to be able to portray that to our clients? So I hope you enjoy this segments or this little meetings that we'll be having. I don't want to take a lot of your time. We're gonna limit it to maybe like 20, 30 minutes, depending on also on questions and answers. I'm gonna throw out some ideas, some suggestions, and hopes that you guys can put it to use, and hopefully it will help you in your business. So today I wanted to talk to you about the most powerful tool in history of business. And this little thing right here. Who can tell me what this is?
That's a telephone.
That's a telephone. That's my man. So the telephone, it goes back, what, 135 plus years in history. The telephone is being used in business. Nowadays, today, we are practicing social distancing. So that means that we cannot be face-to-face with a lot of our clients, or a lot of people, a lot of prospects, but we can use the phone. Everybody has a phone, and we're connecting now more than ever with this little device via social media, internet, text messages. We're doing anything. Are we making phone calls? So making phone calls, guys, is very, very important. And I want to sell that to you. I want to make sure that you guys are using this little device to its full potential. Okay, making phone calls. Today, more than ever, the human connection that we can create with other people through a phone call makes a big difference. So that's number one. If you have a team leader, if you're a team leader right now, and you have a team, you want to sell your people on making phone calls. Now, if you noticed yesterday, Steve was talking about it in the training on getting people all the contact from your phone and transferring them to your CRM. You can have the most powerful CRM, You can have a huge list of contacts. But if at the end of the day, you don't pick up the phone and you reach out to these people, all these tools are secondary to this. Human connection, that's never gonna get old. And it's always gonna be very powerful. Do you guys agree? Shake your head if you do. Awesome. So we're on the same page. So making phone calls, guys, once again, is very important. So that's number one. Sell yourself. First of all, sell yourself on this device. Second, if you're a team leader, sell your team, sell your people on that. Now, putting together the CRM, putting together the tools, the marketing, and you start getting all these leads, you're gonna be able to have a lot more people to call. But putting that aside, how about all the contacts that you have on your phone already? Have you put yourself a target to reach out to them? Yesterday, I was transferring all my contacts to the CRM. I have over 1,500 contacts on my phone. And I've been calling people ever since the year started in January. I've been calling people every single day. I call at least 3 people a day. But now I gotta up that number. Doing a research, I found out that the average salesperson makes about 8 calls a day. 8 calls a day. That's the average. Are we average? Are you average? So how many calls do you need to make a day to be able to reach your goals? So number one, sell yourself on making the phone calls. Sell yourself on this device. Number two, have scripts. Okay, very important. You gotta have some scripts. Okay, we're not telemarketers, so we gotta learn how to communicate with a buyer, how to communicate with a seller. What kind of seller is it? Is it a for sale by owner? The lead came because they saw one of our listings, a buyer. It's a first-time home buyer. It's an investor. So what kind of person are we gonna communicate with? And for that type of individual, we need to have a script for it if you wanna be successful on phone calls. Okay, this is not something that you can just go about without having any training on it. So this takes time to be trained on how to make the right phone calls and how to reach the right people, how to say the right things, how to sell yourself over the phone. Okay, because you gotta sound interesting, but you gotta sound interested. You gotta think about both. Okay, so you have to sound interesting. That means that you have to engage with the person. You want to have that person engage with you. They don't imagine how many a seller, for example, imagine how many calls don't they get from realtors, especially now. So what's gonna make you different? Do you have the right script? Are you using the right words to communicate with this person? A lot of people I hear, and you probably hear the same thing, especially if, just to put an example, when they're calling you for to get information on a property. Hey, this is Dylan Rubido with Broken Nation Real Estate, blah, blah, blah. They say the name and the company name all in the same sentence. When we're trying to sell to a buyer or a seller or a prospect, we don't want to, that's a mistake number one. Because they're already, how many calls don't they get a day? Telemarketers. We don't want to sound like telemarketers. So have a script in place. If you need help with this, I'll be more than happy to help you putting a script together for different types of prospect that you'll be communicating with, and start planning and start using it. Especially now, I mean, we're stuck at home. Okay, we have to still, we want to produce, we want to make money, we all worry. Okay, we don't want our sales to tank, so we have to reach out to as many people as possible. Example of this, yesterday I was sitting here and I called 15 people in my contacts. Those 15 people, 5 were qualified to buy. Send them to the lender pre-approved them. They're all buying around the $350,000. Not bragging about it, but just to give you an idea, how many people, they're worried, but they're still thinking, hey, this is the time to buy. And we got to sell them on that idea. Why? What happens if, I'll put a scenario. Some of them were saying, okay, I'm worried. What if the properties go down? Well, are you buying, this is all first-time home buyers. Are you buying to sell it in a year, in 6 months, in 2 years? Like, no. The answer is, I want to live there at least 5+ years. or I want to stay there forever. So why are you so concerned if the market goes down on that? That's number one. Now, if it goes down, what's going to happen to interest rate? Interest rate will go up. So if you have the chance to get into a property with a low interest rate at the moment, why wait until tomorrow? Boom. Hey, what do I send my application to? We have to talk to people and convince them that everything's going to be okay, because everything's going to be fine. But go around their excuses, their fears, and come up with a solution. So all that is being done through a phone call. Neil.
Yes, I have a question. When you pre-qualify right now, you said that you got 5 people to qualify. I'm having an issue and a lot of questions about this. I'm not a mortgage broker, but right now a lot of people are in a standby, or they lose the job, or they got laid off. How do you get by that? Are they going to be able to qualify if they have no jobs at this point?
Remember the information I sent through the chat the other day about how lenders are qualifying people now? If they don't have a job because they were fired from it, obviously there's no income. But a lot of them were laid off in the sense that it's going to be temporary for them. And that's when the lenders right now, they're using their best criteria to be able to, consider if this person is going to be able to purchase or not based on the current situation. So they have to analyze the situation, and we can do that as well. When I have communicating with these people, they all have a job. They haven't lost a job yet, or they haven't been laid off. They're currently working either from home, or they're still showing up at work. But if the case of anybody that were laid off, or they were put on hold their position with no income for a temporary, for some time because of the coronavirus, I still present it to the lender, because based on the benefits that they're offering, they're considering, and they have to use the best, their knowledge to see if the person's going to be able to afford this property or not, depending on the payments.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
Awesome. I'm going to try to send out a lot more information as soon as I get more from the lender side. But so far, the lender, they're getting a little bit more strict as to the income and debt ratio, but it's still doable. I mean, going back a few years ago, they were doing the 45 ratio versus 50. So it's still the same. Not a whole lot have changed. Any other question? Yes, sir.
I guess I'm the only one here. Okay, I have another question. Is there any websites that people are asking me in my side, my network of people that I know about, when they sign the bill, how to apply, for example, for help, for unemployment, for loans that they're talking about, for different type of professionals out there. Realtors also asked me about that. I heard that there's something about the real estate industry, as we only work as commission-based. Is there anything that you guys could throw out there so people could go into tough times? People that are not were selling before, they were training with us. There's a lot of people that they just started with us, Broker Nation, and they're still getting that pipeline going, but they will not succeed at that point. And everything stopped at the one time. Is there any help for those realtors based on those the bill that they were going to sign?
I don't have the exact answer for you right now. I know there's a lot of stuff coming out. They're not out yet. I know they'll be coming out in the next, I guess, a few weeks, mid-April or end of April, more or less, for what I've heard. But yeah, there are a few websites they are offering. SBA is one of them. But I'll put together a few websites that I got information from, and I'll share it with you guys, and you guys can look into it as well.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem, man. All right, so going back, number one, sell yourself on using the phones, okay? This little device right here, okay? It's not gonna dial itself. It requires you to be able to reach out to people, okay? People are appreciating that human contact, that communication, especially via a phone call. Trust me on this. Number two, have a script. If you're gonna be reaching out to prospect people that you don't know, make sure you have a script so you don't sound like you're selling. Think about everybody else out there. Everybody's trying to sell right now because everybody's trying to make $1, right? So have the script, okay, sound interesting, be interested in the person, okay, and be able to and get into some kind of communication with a person, not to conversate, but to get them to move them to action, if that makes any sense. And lastly, or the number 3 I wanted to share with you, it's do the math. All right. In a contracting economy, it's all about numbers. Okay. How many more people you need to contact? If you were calling 10 people before, 20 people before a day, now's the time to double, triple that number. So we got to call 30, 50, 100, 200 people a day to be able to hit the numbers that we need. If you had a goal at the end of the year, how much production you want to accomplish for 2020, or how much money you want to make for 2020, all the efforts that you put down in paper of how much you need to do, or what you need to, or the calls you need to make, or the emails you need to send, just double those numbers up. Okay, double that number. Increase the amount of people you're gonna call. Increase the amount of emails you're gonna send out. Okay, it's very important. Increase the numbers right now. Okay, don't wait for later. Going back to the trainings that we had on Tuesday and Thursday, putting together the systems, they work. Use the time for that. But guys, again, make the call. There are 3 billion phone calls made every single day in the United States. That's nearly 1 trillion a year. How many of those numbers has been put up by us? All right. So the phone is not something that's from the past. Actually, it's something from the future. If you think about it, now we cannot meet at the office. We cannot meet with the clients. There's no open houses. The best way to communicate with people and be in front of, on their heads and their face and their ears, is through the phone. Use the social media. Use also all free platforms. Use it to the best you can. There's a lot of information you can share right now, and some tips on that. For example, I get to be on the phone with a client or with a prospect that I'm trying to make a call, and we're talking about information that I need them to have on their fingertips right there and then, okay, in real time. So as I'm talking to them on the phone, okay, and if you don't have an office phone or a house phone, try to have your wife's phone or your kid's phone. Just borrow a phone. Make sure, or be on the computer. Make sure they get information right there and then. That's gonna make a big difference, okay, in that person's life. It's awesome. Just try it. If you're on the phone with somebody and you can text them the information that they're talking about, or something that they need, and you send it over right there and then while they have you on the phone, that's priceless. They'll appreciate that, and they'll think, this guy is going above and beyond for me. Has anybody tried that? Awesome. All right, any suggestion, any ideas, any issues that you have in your real estate you want to discuss? Now will be the time. I would love to hear you.
Dalen, it's
Yes.
Karen. I just
Karen.
wanted to see, would you be doing like maybe some script classes? I know a lot of us are, veterans, and we've been doing this for a while and stuff, but it is really important to know scripts and to be able to, overcome objections and stuff like that. And I think that we would benefit, especially at this time, to do some training on that for people, because, just even if it's group practices, or whatever, but something that can be implemented so people can get a little bit more familiar with the scripts, know how to do objections a little bit better, and feel more comfortable on the phone when they're talking to their clients.
Absolutely. Actually, I was thinking of putting together a webinar, and whoever participates on that webinar, they'll get free scripts that I put together that I personally have used. Some people a few years ago, and actually not too long ago, I was putting together a few people making phone calls and how to make phone calls following this same script. So I can send you some scripts. You can personalize them, make it feel like you're comfortable with the words being used, but I can send you something to follow, and for every single type of client that we deal with. And we can put together a training based on that, on how to win, and any objections that we can get from from clients, prospects, sellers, buyers, how to go about those type of objections, how to go around it. Remember, objections most of the time or all the time are excuses. Okay, the buyer or the seller, either they have a fear or they have a concern or something is going on that we have no control over, but we have to hear them out and hear and see why they're putting that objection in place. And most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, those objections are just excuses that we can go around and still win the sale. Any other question? How's all the transactions going on out there, guys? Anybody having issues right now with any of the transactions? Common questions that you've been getting?
Yeah, so I was doing cold calls the other day, and I found someone who was interested in selling their home, but they they were more towards like, okay, when I'm ready, I'll call you. So I'd like to stay on, on his mind when he does decide, but he doesn't seem like the type that if I follow up, he'll like that. So I'm deciding to see what I could do that's comfortable for him, but I'm still able to stay on his mind for when he decides to sell.
Okay.
Drip campaign works for that. If you want to just keep in mind that if they have an email or a text, I will just put them on a drip campaign and just tell them relevant information, not about bad news. Just tell them, the mortgage rates are coming down. All the good things that you could always keep that guy informed. Never share bad information. Just keep in mind that they want to hear good things and things that are going to be coming in the near future. That's why you want to keep them engaged. That's my idea.
Very good. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I would support this. This is Steve. And, from a marketing perspective, this is one of the main objectives, I think, when we do phone calls and cold calls is most people are not ready to sell. They're not going to do anything immediate, but you want to try to get their email address if you don't already have it and ask them if you can follow up with them with email follow-ups. You call it email follow-ups. We call it our smart plans or our drips, where we can send them property alerts and market reports and content. There's a ton of really good smart plans if you look in the back end of that Chime system to do just that. And if you do that at scale to 100 people, 500 people, that's how you get the numbers working and keep them top of mind so that when they are ready, they're calling you before you even call them back.
Absolutely. Just remember this. Everybody that you get on the phone, okay, regardless if it's a cold call, a warm call, a hot call, a hot lead, we have a system in place. We have the CRM. We have the tools. Just put them in drip campaigns. I've been getting a lot of people that I have talked to. They might have been interested in buying in a certain area, and I have put them in drip campaigns with the MLS, with the same matrix. They get properties from me every single day. And a lot of them, I think that they're not even looking at it because they don't say anything. But when I go to the history, they're opening the emails. They're looking at the emails. I know I'm in their face. And that's just with the matrix. Imagine if you have something more powerful, which you do, okay, with us, you have something powerful that it can do not only properties, but you're also sending information. You're asking questions. There's interaction with the customer without you having to be in front of them necessarily. So think about it. So
I got also something that I did yesterday. I used to also do the drip campaigns on Matrix, as you do the search criteria and the new properties that come out on the market. But then I found that also on Chime, you could go to all the listings on Chime and try to find out the criteria and put them on the drip campaign on the Chime, because when they look into that property, you get an email from Chime and it'll kick the drip campaign based on what they are looking at. So that's something that I was playing with the system yesterday, and it's amazing what it does.
It's a very powerful tool. So yeah, good. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it is a very powerful tool. So any other questions, suggestions, ideas, situations that you might be facing right now, real estate related?
Yeah, I wanted to mention regarding the MLS.
Go ahead.
That system that you can set up your clients, there's a way where, and I'm sure a lot of you already know, but you have your clients where they can favorite their the properties that they like and stuff, and you can have it where it sends you a text every time they favorite or they like a possibility or something. And when they do that, then that's a good opportunity for you to call them right away. So make sure that you explain that to your clients on how to use the system, so it's easy for you guys to be able to get alerts and stuff on their behavior.
That's very true. That's very true. Actually, you know what? That happened to me yesterday. This is a client that I worked with before many times, and I put them in a drink campaign a little while back, and she was getting other properties that she's interested in that sector. She was getting the properties, and she didn't realize that she could put like. That was my fault, because I assumed that she already knew, since we have dealt with this before, but either she forgot or it was never mentioned to her, but she started doing it. And yesterday, I guess since it's a new thing that she found out, she sent me like 40 properties that she liked. And I go, now, wait a minute. So now we gotta go over this and kind of like, now it's putting me to work. So that's a good thing. So yeah, Karen, very good.
Yeah. Not only that, you guys can have them send it to you, but you can put that on your dashboard where you can see every time all the favorites and all the possibilities that they select per day. So that's like a big eye opener for you guys. The first thing you do when you open your MLS, that's what you see. So you can go down the list on that particular day and say, hey guys, I saw that you marked something as a possibility, or I saw you marked something as a favorite. What do you think about the property? Whatever, and start a conversation. But there's a lot of tools that'll help you within the MLS that gives you alerts. They don't have to even call you or text you or anything. The system does it by itself. So just look into it a little bit. Make sure your clients know how to use it, because it's to your advantage for sure.
If you have the app, Karen, if you have the app, you'll get the notifications on your phone as well. So you're gonna start getting notification from the MLS app, letting you know, hey, this client so and so just like all these properties, or just like this property. So it's a great way of picking up the phone right there and then, give them a call. Hey, I noticed you like this property. What do you like about it? Would you like to see it? If you're already qualified. If not qualified, hey, have you been pre-approved already? What's going on? What's the situation? How's everything at home? How's the job? And start pre-qualifying that person right there and then.
Can I suggest something? I was talking to a realtor from New York, and I asked him what are they doing based on conditions to show properties. And one thing that they're doing, and we should also implement it here, is, and if you get a request to show a property right now, it's not a good time for you or to your clients to go to any property, because you never know who's going to be infected. And a lot of sellers don't want anybody inside the house. So what they're doing is asking that seller to do a video on their phone of all the property, like a video tour, beside the photos that they have, to do a video tour, and they are sharing that with the agent via Dropbox. And that's how they're making deals happen. So that's something that we should all be doing here. I don't want anybody to go out there and show properties at this time, because then I might be able to get you in and you might lose the deal. So just ask that seller, can you do me a favor, since you are there? Do me a video of the property, do a walk through the property, and send it to, via Dropbox. So there's all the other websites that they could share those videos. That way you could send it to your prospect or your buyer, which is a great idea.
Excellent. If you can do that, definitely take advantage of that. I mean, you can take a whole tour video of the property. You can upload it even to YouTube. Use that tool as a marketing as well. Put it up in YouTube. Put up the address, the full address of the property with a brief description on the YouTube page, and that's going to be promoting itself, aside from maybe putting a link on your MLS as well.
Yep.
Any other questions or suggestions, issues that you might be facing?
Yeah, Daylon, just check the chat box. There's a couple of questions. Judy's asking, maybe you already answered this, but what do you do if a client wants to meet? Now that you have all these clients you've prospected for, to show properties is still scary, possibly walking into infected homes or meeting with infected clients.
Okay, if a client wants to meet, I'm still meeting with some clients. We're keeping the 6 feet distance if possible. But if they want to see a house, I suggest to them, listen, if the house is occupied, let me get the right instructions from the seller, see if they're comfortable doing that. I found out that some sellers are okay showing the house, but they're asking for the realtors and the prospect, the buyers, to wear gloves, masks, even covering their shoes before entering the property. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm reaching out to the listing agent, the seller, asking what are the instructions if they still want to show the house. If we take the right precautions, it's okay. It's really up to you. And if you do that, please use the right precautions before entering anybody's house. I'd rather show a house that is empty, vacant, nobody's in there, and still take the right precautions. But that's my suggestion.
Okay, any other questions? Someone is saying that WhatsApp holds very long videos. They've done this for clients before. And does anyone have any extra masks laying around?
That's good.
Yeah, I don't have any.
I don't have either.
I have gloves. That's what I have. I have a box full
How
of
about
gloves.
how about toilet paper laying around? Kidding.
No. All right, any other issues, questions, concerns, ideas, and suggestions that you might want to ask? I see something in the chat. Can you read it, Steve? Because I can't.
Someone just said that I heard that it can see through gloves, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I just want to remind everyone too to go to brokernation.events. www.brokernation.events is where all the you can stay up to date with all these online events that are going on. We're having another one of these on Monday, Mindset Monday, and then on Tuesday we have another Chime support training to get all of you up to speed with Chime. Now is the time to get all of that done and get your social media up to par. The worst thing you can do is go silent right now to your SOI. So in addition to the phone, I think you have to be out there in all these different channels and be present and be a presence. It's your responsibility to have that right kind of presence, but you have to be a presence and be seen and heard.
Absolutely, guys. Now is the time to. A few weeks ago, on the office meeting that we had, our last office meeting that we had, we talked about expanding in a contracting economy, or at any time, but especially now, expanding, meaning reach out to as many people as you can, be out there, make sure you're in people's mind, be creative, come up with ways to be able to communicate with people. Don't forget about using the phone. Call people. Everybody has a phone. Reach out to them via social media, video, text message, and phone call. Sell yourself on that. If you have a team, make sure you're selling your people on that device. Use the scripts. I'm gonna be putting some scripts together that I personally have used. They have worked. I'm gonna share that with everybody. Use it, personalize it, use it freely. And lastly, do the math. Okay, sit down. Let's go back to the whiteboard. Sit down, do the numbers, the calls that you need to make, the people you need to reach out to, how to be relevant in front of all these people, and then come out with the ideas and the strategies to do that. Now is the time to take advantage. But remember, do the math. That's gonna tell you exactly what you need to do. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you for being part of the Real Estate Friday. And I look forward to seeing you guys on Monday, on Mindset Monday.
Hey, Dylan. Hey, Dylan.
Yeah.
One more thing. I wanted to share an app with you guys that could be beneficial for you. It's Truth Finder. And what this app does, it's you put in a zip code or a certain address, and it's going to give you like the homeowners, and I don't know if it pulls their phone numbers and stuff, but it gives you the homeowners there. It also does, it gives you the crime rate and crime reports, and actually lists all the sex offenders and their faces there. This could be information that you can privately show your client and, you know, provide options for different neighborhoods that they're looking, so that they can make an informed decision before getting into a home. Or you can use it just to, you know, send them that kind of information, not really people's faces and names, but, you know, just give them, it gives you a graph, or an analytical report on that, and it's very helpful. It gives you, it lists down all the neighborhoods, all the schools. I know the MLS CRM, sorry, the CRM also can pull that information, but it also gives you the businesses, the average income in a household, how many people are there. So I think if you look into it, it's free to download. It has tons of information that could be helpful.
What's the name?
Truth Finder. Let me
Truth
type it.
Finder.
Yeah.
Truth Finder. Thank you. I see it.
Is
Awesome.
that an app or a website?
It's an app.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Flo.
All right.
Awesome, guys. Anything else?
Be safe.
Be safe. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your family. And do the math, guys. Take care.
Bye. Be safe. Keep up. Bye. Thanks.
Bye.